Fantasy Life I made me understand the appeal of cozy games. I have never been too big of a fan of slower life sims like Animal Crossing or Harvest Moon. The farming aesthetic didn't grip me, and I usually look for more mechanically intense games that fit my taste. However, recently taking a chance on Fantasy Life I found myself losing track of time. The progression loop is addicting, the pacing as fast or slow as you want it to be. It's casual friendly and comfy, but still has an absurd amount of content to appease even Path of Exile players. I get why people enjoy these types of games now, so here's why Fantasy Life I managed to win me over, someone who's never been a fan. The premise of Fantasy Life I is straightforward. You are an explorer helping an archaeologist explore a mysterious island when a fight with a dark dragon sends you 1,000 years back in time. You pursue different life paths on the island to make a living and unravel the mysteries across the past and future. The story so far 20 hours in hasn't blown me away, but it's serviceable enough to fuel your RPG life sim grind. Now, if I had to describe what kind of game Fantasy Life I is, I'd say it's a blend of Animal Crossing, RuneScape, and Zelda put together. Playing Fantasy Life feels like going through a more condensed MMORPG experience in a great way. You get to pursue 14 different lives, which are life paths your character takes, each offering slightly different gameplay, benefits, and progression. You can fight as a paladin, become a fisher, yearn for the mines, craft weapons as a blacksmith, farm, paint, and more. Raw gameplay wise, Fantasy Life I is quite simple. Combat is a basic combo, roll, guard, and a special attack. Gathering gameplay like mining or woodcutting is strategic button mashing, and crafting is a simple minigame. No crazy mechanics here, but everything works to feel fun without feeling tedious. What makes Fantasy Life I click for me though is the fantastic amount of player choice and addicting progression. First, the freedom of player choice. There's a great balance of guiding the player through different options in the game, but allowing the player to work on anything they want in any order. Your playthrough will probably be wildly different from mine. Like so far, I focused on hunting monsters as a paladin and supported myself with woodcutting, mining, and blacksmithing to craft gear. But I can easily imagine someone else go for bows, painting, and cooking instead. It feels like actual role-playing where my choices make my playthrough entirely unique, which is a great feeling that is often lacking in other games. There's also just so many different things to do. Aside from the 14 lives with their own sets of quests, you have town building, Zelda shrines, dungeons, mounts, bosses. The variety of activity here is phenomenal. This would normally be overwhelming, but as per the genre, the easier difficulty and relaxing nature of most of the content allows all sorts of players to proceed at their own pace. Then, no matter which avenue of gameplay you choose, Fantasy Life I knows how to reward you, which leads to the next reason why I can't stop playing this game. Amazing vertical and lateral progression. Normally, I'd prefer a game to have more focused, deeper gameplay, but the charm of Fantasy Life I lies with how its many simple mechanics interweave with one another. Vertically, every single life has its own skill tree. Leveling up a life gives you skill points for that given skill tree, so in total you'll be managing 14 different trees should you take them all on. Now a skill tree itself isn't anything special, but what feels great in this game is how progression in one life incentivizes you to progress another. A high level example is putting in points to give you more SP, your resource for special attacks, but also required for mining and woodcutting. Leveling up SP in the Paladin tree not only allowed me to use more special attacks, but also helped me mine higher grade materials. Similarly, should you mine a bunch of minerals, you're incentivized to blacksmith those into equipment, which then encourages you to fight more monsters to find better loot. Cut a bunch of wood to then carve them into furniture to decorate your town. Develop your town to unlock more town members faster, which add their own bonuses. There's a bunch of these loops that cycle you through the different forms of gameplay. It's rewarding and keeps any part of the game from getting stale. Now, you may be thinking that other RPGs do this too, which is true, but here, the condensed nature and quickness of moving from one gameplay pattern to the next is what keeps the pace so good and gripping. Once I got into a groove, hours just slipped by. The final X factor Fantasy Life I has up its sleeve is the sheer amount of content. For supposedly a cozy, more casual game, this caught me off guard big time. I'm around 20 hours in, but I easily sense hundreds of hours of gameplay here. Aside from the 14 lives, there are islands with dungeons to explore. There's a large main dungeon that you make gradual progress through. On top of all of that though, is an entire open world continent, complete with your map revealing towers, Zelda-esque shrines, secrets, and mounts. I've been absolutely floored by the scope of the game, and who knows if even more crazy surprises are on the horizon. The open world, by the way, is some solid stuff too. Of course, nothing as elaborate as a dedicated open world game, but the environments are nice to explore. There are secrets, mimics, and villagers to rescue who can then serve as party members. Where other life sims don't grip me due to their usual smaller scale, Fantasy Life I goes all out. That's not to say that the game is without flaws though. There are issues here that do get in the way of the experience, which is a shame when the core is so solid. First, too many pop-up tutorials. There's definitely a lot of content and mechanics to teach the player, but it would be way better if more of the tutorials were hands-on, because the frequent pop-ups really bog down the pacing in the early game. I can see many players getting turned off by it and not even make it to the main gameplay loop where Fantasy Life shines. Similarly, there are too many cutscenes to my taste. Again, more of the story beats can be told in-game without taking control away from the player. Finally, while the visual presentation is solid with a cute chibi anime aesthetic, the music isn't winning me over. Most of it is typical fantasy ambiance, but the battle music is awful. It sounds downright goofy and cartoonish. Not fitting at all for combat, which even for a more casual game like this should still, raise the adrenaline levels a bit. I have no idea what the team was going for with this. Small gripes though for what is otherwise else a very fun game. Fantasy Life I really exceeded my expectations as someone who's not usually a fan of the genre. The progression is addicting, the scope is huge. The more relaxed difficulty allowed me to zone out and enjoy the grind without pressure. If you're into RuneScape, MMO grinds, or other cozy games like Animal Crossing, don't skip out on Fantasy Life I because there's a lot to love here for a lot of players. Have you played Fantasy Life I already and are you enjoying it? What are your other cozy game picks? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you made it this far, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, a sub will go a long way in supporting the channel. See ya!